What is poppin'? We are back. I'm accompanied by Mr. Chains himself.
James, me. Man of mystery. That's me.
And
Here.
okay, all right. We got Austin Powers here right now. Then we have Cederico, accompanied by Captain Pornhub. So we get
Mr. Marcus
in.
himself.
You're really going by that?
What, Captain Pornhub?
I'm not calling you that.
I dubbed him Mr. Marcus.
Sunday Clean Q is what I'm calling you.
The name is boring.
No, it is not.
It's not even catchy.
Get over it.
So we're back.
We're back.
We're back with the next round of matchups that we have. We have the number 1 seed, Martin, going up against Good Times. So, and this is the 5th seed. So, the number 1 seed against the 5th seed, Martin versus Good Times. So,
What bracket?
Good time.
this is the damn Gina bracket.
Yes, sir.
Correcto mundo.
Yep.
So, let's get right into it.
And Good Times beat Sister Sister previous round.
I was surprised it actually beat Sister
I thought
Sister.
Sister Sister was going to win.
'Cause a lot of people grew up with Sister Sister,
Right,
Good Times.
right.
Good Times still,
People are throwing us for a loop, but
I don't know. I think people are high when they vote, so.
You know the vibes.
yeah.
So, first things first, star power. I'll let my fellow brethren
Yeah.
start this off.
So for star power, there's Martin
There's
Lawrence,
Martin.
obviously, who plays himself, facing off against Esther Rowe, who's Florida Evans, in the show Good Times. So I mean, I'll get it started. I'm not gonna lie, it's Martin Lawrence. You know, what do I have here for him? There were some notes I had on to Martin.
Feel me?
Maybe I didn't care to write them down, but Martin in the show. I did. Martin in the show, I mean, huge comedian, really funny, done stand up, has multiple avenues of like talent. I mean, he acts, does stand up. He's had some other involvements in some other
He's
activities.
hosted Def Jam, Def
That's
Comedy
exciting.
Jam.
Oh my
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
okay.
He was one of the
Yeah,
hosts. You feel me?
right. I also feel like he's really helped like broker in some new comedians
Yeah.
and really kind of put them
Yeah.
on. So
Yeah.
I got Martin Lawrence. I mean, Esther Rowe for me doesn't really do it. Hasn't really won too many things. Not really well accomplished.
So
and
you-
then she ended up losing her like star role to JJ. Like JJ was a breakout character in Good Times. So it wasn't even. It was her. It wasn't her. So I got Martin Lawrence in this one.
Martin Lawrence by a landslide.
Really?
Just
I don't like that landslide word. How you
Nah,
using?
I'm gonna use
I'll throw a
landslide.
landslide. in
You
Google.
ain't say
just-
nothing last
just-
round when it was a landslide.
I'm gonna say landslide. Just
I never said it was a landslide.
just by so much he accomplished. He's been in the game for a very long time. Again, started off as a stand-up hosting comedy shows. Got into the show. Then after that, got into movies. Hell of a lot of movies. All classics, by the way. And then he definitely paved the way for the younger generation of comedians. That and he also looks out for them too. Whatever advice they may need, or whatever sit-downs they may have, or whatever questions they may have, he's always willing to give that lending hand. So, Martin Lawrence for the landslide over this.
Well, you know, people, I feel like I got to say this very calm. For those that know me, know I am a big, big Martin fan.
Are you trying to talk like Barry White?
Relax.
Trying to influence our audience. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah,
Like, for
because, you know, this
future
voice
segments?
tends to work
Okay.
sometimes when you can talk like this because it sounds soothing and it sounds sassy.
I just don't want to like
It sounds
respond
what? Sounds
so that it
sissy?
doesn't stop.
Sassy.
Sissy?
I'm going with Martin. You know
Okay.
why?
Wow.
It's because he was a big comedian at that time. He did get a start on In Living Color. He was a reoccurring
Recurring
person on
character.
that show. He's also starred alongside of Jamie Foxx, another good comedian. He was with the Wayans brothers, who was good as a comedic family and things of that nature.
Partnered with Will Smith for
Exactly,
3
exactly.
movies.
He actually made his show. He did have a couple stand-up. He had a few stand-ups actually, and I know one that really stands out.
Was it Run Till That?
Yeah, that shit was funny as hell. But no, I have Martin for his star power. Esther, Esther was a good character, but it wasn't something that I grew up on. It was something that I would often hear. You know what I'm saying? So it's different than seeing something and hearing something. And I'm going with something that I was a huge fan of, and which is Martin. So I have Martin for star power around that.
Whoop. That's that.
No.
That is that.
To be fair, though, I mean, that's the role in John Amos. Like, Good Times really laid a foundation
Yeah,
for
it did.
shows
It did,
like
it did,
The Fresh
it
Prince
did.
of Bel-Air and Martin to be available. So, like,
Mhm.
she may have not have gotten the same accomplishments or accolades that Martin did or Will Smith did, but I don't think we would be this far without that show. So
Yeah,
they
we
really
gotta
laid the
understand that.
groundwork for a lot of shows to come.
We
So.
gotta understand the time it came out too.
Yeah,
It came out
right.
before our time, so there's
Mhm.
only so much we can really touch on. But just touch on reruns. We don't know what was going on
And
between the
actually,
years 74 to 71, 79. We can only ask like our parents or something
Mm-hmm.
that was going on. That's
Yeah.
something that may have resonated with them. So
Mhm.
that's that. Supporting
Mhm.
cast.
supporting cast, we have Tisha Campbell, who's Gina. We have Thomas Michael Ford, who's Tommy. R.I.P. Rest
R.I.P.
peacefully.
Tommy.
Sad to hear that you passed away.
Mhm.
We have Carl Payne II, which
Yep.
is Cole. Anybody know who the hell that is?
I hate Cole.
We have Tisha Arnold, who was Pam, Mrs. Beady Beeb.
Mm-hmm.
And her Beady Bees wasn't that bad back in the day, because I would definitely take Pam, but whatever.
Yeah.
So, we have star power. No, we have supporting guests. John Amos, who was
Mhm.
James Evans Jr. We have Jimmy Walker, who was JJ.
Yep.
We have Ralph Carter, who was Michael Evans.
Yep.
Janet DuBois, who was
Walona.
Walona. We had Bernadette Stannis, which is Thelma's sexy
Yeah.
old ass.
She was sexy. She was.
Okay.
She wasn't.
I didn't say she wasn't. I'm just,
You made the face like ew.
just beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
I guess.
And both of y'all are clearly blind. So
What the fuck ever. So supporting
Yeah.
guys, who you got?
I was trying to make the case for Good Times. I cannot.
Mhm.
Gina has had two NAACP awards given to her. And then Pam is popping, bro.
She
like
is
I'm really
poppin'.
sick of her being underrated. She was more popping than Gina. Get over it, yo. But
And
yeah.
in the show.
I think like I
Yeah.
mean no, she wasn't featured more. Like Gina had more of a bigger role, but like Pam looked better than Gina, and I'm tired of people saying
I can see why you say
that
that.
she did not.
I can see why you say
Like
that.
there's certain episodes where it's clear as day. Like
Mhm.
Pam's it.
Facts.
So-
man.
Pam's it. But I didn't like Cole. You know I don't like dumb characters
I do.
for comic relief. Like I don't like that. So I don't like JJ either. But Tommy never had no job. I was confused by that. So
You know
But-
what he was doing.
yeah.
Chopping out the bundle.
But yeah, no, their supporting cast. I mean, I think they were more so entertaining. I think they supported Martin well, and Martin didn't like just overwhelm them with his
Mhm.
own star power and creativity. We talked about the Bernie Mac show. He did that in his own show. Martin did not. I mean, I think they were able to hold their own, and they were
Mhm.
supportive towards Martin.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I got Martin in that.
Martin, just by Gina and Pam, not only that the type of relationship that they both had as friends, but I feel like that resonated with real life too. They're actually real close friends in real life, and not to mention they can both sing, so they're multi-talented. They're close. They still keep that.
Yeah, they are.
They still keep in contact with each other till this day. I'm sure of it.
Mhm.
And they can both sing. They're multi-talented.
Mhm.
Oh, you was talking about Pam.
Yeah, and Gina,
Tashina
Pam and
oh, okay,
Gina.
okay.
Yeah,
not
my
Martin.
fault. My bad.
Yeah, because remember,
'Cause
Gina
we-
put a lawsuit out on Martin.
Yeah, he was a stalker. But
Who?
that's a
Wait,
different.
what?
That's a different.
Gina had some lawsuits filed against
Yeah,
Martin
it
Lawrence
was some
during the
crazy
show.
shit going back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
shit.
yeah, okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, and they all meshed well too. They all had like a good relationship.
Mhm.
Everybody played
Mhm.
their role in unison, and it just formed into a great cast, into a great show. There was never a dull moment within any show.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was just on point with the comedy,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a few real moments in there as well. But yeah, I feel like it overshadows the supporting cast for Good Times, and that's what I'm going with.
Well, I don't want to undermine the supporting cast for for Good Times. I mean, there were in that time frame there were a lot of
Yeah.
situations that the show put forth
Mhm.
for the audience, and it actually was relatable in that time frame. A lot of struggle, a lot of different things that just went left. But like I said, what I grew up on was the Martin Show.
Yeah.
You did say you don't like dumb characters. I do. We
Mhm.
we all know of somebody who acts like that in real life, or not necessarily act like Cole, but somebody who just can't seem to have common sense at certain times. So I kind of went with that, and I like comedy 24/7. I like the raunchiness. I like how they mesh together well. I like the topics. It wasn't too
Serious.
like serious or family oriented and all that ugh. You know what I'm saying? So no, I like
Yeah.
I like the supporting cast for Martins, and to piggyback off of what you said, they did mesh well. Nobody overshadowed one another. Everybody had their own role, and they made it work for themselves. So that's what I'm going with. So we have supporting cast: Martin,
Martin, supporting cast.
Martin,
Mm-hmm.
Martin. What? I gotta
No,
say
you-
what you
No,
gotta
like
say.
I mean, I don't know. Like I low-key wanted to trade off and go to Good Times because, like, in Good Times, the supporting cast was the supporting cast. I was gonna make the argument that the best characters for Martin were the alter egos that he had, like Shanae or the kid.
Or his mama.
But yeah, so I was gonna say like maybe those are even more memorable characters than the actual cast themselves. But I'm not sure how strong I feel in that
You
argument.
are
So.
very disrespectful today.
I'm
What
not
is
like I
wrong
said.
with you?
I'm not sure how strong I feel in that argument. Therefore, I'm gonna fall on the side of Martin. But let's be clear: like, Shanae is probably better than Tommy and Cole.
Because
Like
it's
they're
Martin.
more entertaining than those characters. Gina and Pam were definitely talented, as Skeeta had mentioned before. But I mean, that's something to be said. Like they were all themselves, and
Cole was funny in that damn show.
Cole's hilarious. Him
Tommy,
and his
not funny.
bird calls.
Shirley,
airhead
Big
girlfriend.
Shirley.
No,
Yeah,
his
well,
air-
I mean,
no,
whatever.
the light skin one.
You got
Yeah.
that. You
Like I
got
said,
that. You got
I'm
that. You
leaning on
got
the
that
side of
one.
Martin, but like
All right.
I don't think it's too far from like
Yeah.
if someone said Good Times. I'd be like, okay, I can see that point. So yeah,
Nope.
All right.
yeah.
Next one, guest appearances.
Mm-hmm.
For Martin, we have David Allen Greer. We have
Yeah.
George Clinton,
Mm-hmm.
Tracy Morgan, Lisa Leslie, Chris Rock, Gary Coleman, Jackie Chan.
Overrated.
Relax. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Mhm.
legend. Little Richard, legend. Snoop Dogg,
Overrated.
overrated. Vivica Fox, Brian McKnight,
Mm-hmm.
Charles Barkley, Chuck himself, Mr. Guarantee himself,
Mm-hmm.
Biggie,
Yeah.
and Babyface.
Mm-hmm.
For
Yeah.
guest appearances, we had Carl Weathers, we had Paul Mooney.
Yes, sir. He had like
He's
a
a
very
legend.
limited role though. He was like a moving man. I don't
Yeah,
really
he-
think he had the script. Like he wasn't featured. So yeah, but
We had Jay Leno, we had Shirley Lee Ralph, and
Mhm.
Gary Coleman.
Yep.
So for guest appearances,
Yeah.
based off of who I just named, who are you
Right.
giving this to?
Sure. Oh, Martin.
I mean,
Martin. I'm going with Martin.
yeah,
You got Babyface in there. You got the
Babyface.
legend Biggie Smalls,
big-
B.I.G.
composer.
I'm gonna just leave it at
Yeah.
that. Biggie Smalls. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm.
Yeah.
You get Biggie in your show, bro.
Right.
At that time, that's like at the peak before. Well, not even before. At the time when Biggie Smalls was taking the industry
Yeah.
by storm.
Mhm.
That's a major accomplishment.
Mm.
So just based off that fact alone, I'm going with Martin.
Mm. Leaning towards Martin as well. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, highest number of points scored in
I
the
fuck
NBA
with y'all today. Last
ever.
week I wasn't fucking with y'all.
Yeah, highest number of points scored in the NBA ever. Still holds that title.
Yep.
Just to be clear though, Chris Rock still isn't funny, guys. I just want y'all to know that. Tracy Morgan is not funny either. But Lisa Leslie, Hall of Famer. Jackie Chan, like I said, was overrated. Brian McKnight, he's been featured on a few shows, so I'm gonna give him too much credit there.
Jackie
but,
Chan does all his own stunts. That doesn't count for anything.
I don't care. Like, I don't. I mean, I really don't. Like, he doesn't move the needle for me like that. So, I mean, I'm leading on the side of Martin just because of the athletic appearances he had. I just feel like they outweigh anything that Good Times could have had. But to be fair, I mean, I don't see a lot of people getting on Good Times, especially back in that time, to travel to do a show or to do a cameo. It just seems really hard to do. So, yeah, Martin.
Before I make my case,
Right.
I need you to stop disrespecting Jackie Chan. That is a legend. He was alongside
Listen.
Bruce Lee back in the day, so I can never undermine that.
He does his
Um,
own stunts.
Majority of his own stunts.
I do my own stunts too. I
if
wake
Chris-
up, I go to work, like it's crazy. Like, have
That's
you
a stunt?
seen?
That's a
Have you
stunt.
seen the roads in Mass? Like I'm not
If-
giving him no credit.
If Chris Rock pays
Yeah.
you to go to his shows
Right.
and sit front row, you mean to
Yeah.
tell me you're not going to laugh at not one thing he says?
I don't know. To be determined.
To be determined?
I mean, I feel like I might have that nervous laugh where it's like, oh, like everyone else is. Like I don't want him to pick out me. and
He is
start
gonna
getting
do that.
jokes. Then I'm definitely not laughing at shit. But yeah, so
Well, I'm going with
You
Martin.
said he wasn't funny either. Like, it's not just me.
Who,
You
moi?
said- yeah.
Yeah, I
did
did
say
say
that.
that.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
you
no,
trying
He
to
did say that.
Call me out. You
His-
said he wasn't funny
His
either.
type of funny is not my type of funny.
Okay.
Well, let me clarify that.
Told you he's not funny.
His type of funny is not my type of funny. You see what I'm saying? It's
I
not.
see.
It's not really. It's not for me. I'm sorry. I like raunchy shit.
I gotta watch his recent. He got one out on Netflix now.
Yeah, it's
right?
the same shit. Screaming, all in the crowd, teeth out. No, I'm good.
I'm gonna have to watch that later.
So
I'm
who
good.
do you-
No,
who do you
I
have
got
guest
Martin. I got Martin for
Okay.
for guest appearance, just solely off of the legends he has on there. He has Biggie, he has Charles Barkley. Brian McKnight seems to be like a consistent guest appearance, like on a lot of black sitcoms.
Yeah.
So, I'm going with Martin.
Yo, Martin proposed to Gina.
Up in the park.
Yeah.
So sustainability. This is kind of neck and neck, to be honest.
is.
One is just one up with each other with what they have. We have Martin for 1992 to 97. That's 5 years, 5 seasons, you can say, right?
Yeah.
At 132 episodes. We have Good Times, 74 to 79, 5 years, 5 seasons, 133 episodes.
Yeah.
So since this is neck and neck,
Right. Yeah. Good.
since this is neck and neck, what can separate that one episode from Good Times and Martin, based off of the TV show?
I'm gonna just resort back to my last argument. Biggie and Biggie Smalls on the episode is what separates that.
So
You got so much substance in that section right there, and that overweighs. I get it. It's a different time. It's a totally different time. To be fair in that aspect, but overall, the difference is the type of people he got in that time frame. You
Okay.
get Biggie Smalls. Period.
Okay.
That's it.
What you got? Jay?
That's it.
I have Good Times, and yeah, it's neck and neck. It's literally separated by one episode. But when you think about it, Good Times had to go through more turnover than anything Martin ever had to go through. So if you think about it, John Amos, the dad, was killed after the 3rd season. So there is no more dad. And then Florida Evans, she was there for 4 out of 5 seasons. And then like they had the neighbor come over, and she ended up being featured like throughout consistently for the rest of Good Times. So when you talk about sustainability, it's keeping the cast together, keeping the show going. And so I got Good Times, even if they were down 1 compared to Martin, I would still pick Good Times because they had gone through more turnover than Martin ever did. Like no one ever left Martin. Like, no one did. They didn't have to replace a character or any of that, but in Good Times they did. So I got sustainability, Good Times.
Okay. I got sustainability, Martin.
That's crazy.
The reason why I have
yeah.
sustainability in Martin is because of this is my era. This is my.
I just don't feel like that's a good argument.
It's an argument for me because it based a lot of things that I was a fan of in terms of when it came down to sneakers, clothing, fashion, anything that you can possibly name around this time. So it opened my eyes to other things that was going on in the 90s.
So-
And go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, so I'm saying like if you were born back when Good Times was going up, then you then pick Good Times
I would
because of
pick
the
Good
culture.
Times
I
because
just don't think that's fair. I think you got to look
think
at
it's
it
fair to
objectively.
me.
Okay,
it's
You're
fair
right.
to me because
You're right.
you ain't grow up in that time.
Right, but like I still pick Good Times. Like I'm being objective. Like when it goes to matchups, I'm like, okay, this goes with this.
They
This goes
did.
with that.
They did face a
Yeah.
lot of shit back in the day in
Right.
terms of keeping the cast together.
Right.
And I think John Amos even came forward in the interview and stated why he
Yeah.
wasn't on the show anymore.
Yeah.
But I can't remember exactly what he said. But
JJ
there was-
basically became the breakout character.
Yeah.
They didn't like it, and therefore they ended up killing him off, and Florida ended up leaving a little bit
okay.
later. Yeah.
Well, nobody was killed off of Martin. Everybody stuck together, so you can
Okay.
say that it was the family.
I got you.
So I'm just going with that based off of the type of culture that it's surrounding
So
itself
you both are
around.
going with Martin for
Yes.
sustainability.
Correcto mundo.
Yes.
Granted, like Good Times has 133 episodes.
Yeah,
Martin
that-
has 132.
I don't
Reno.
feel like that.
I just want you to know
No,
this
I-
goes in contrast to everything you guys have chosen initially because of numbers. I just want to point that out.
It's okay.
Moving forward.
It's
okay.
okay.
Well, we good.
I
Then.
can do that
Oh, we
because
good
this is
then.
my show.
We good. Then. We good.
Yeah.
Then. We good. Just checking.
So all right, next one, theme song.
Good Times.
Good Times. I'm going with Good Times.
Good Times. More hearty, more soulful. Martin, he just says his name a bunch of other times, so an
With the
upbeat
music
tempo.
playing. Yeah.
And I'm
it's
not
just
really
him
giving him
voice.
credit for that.
Instruments too.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Good
Can't deny the
Times,
instruments.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
going. I'm going with
Good Times.
Good Times.
I'm
Okay.
including instruments,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm actually gonna go with Martin.
Got you.
instruments do count as a part of music.
Instruments
And
was in Good Times though. Maybe even featured heavily.
nah, I feel like Martin was more gave it that more jazz feel for me more so than
It wasn't a jazz.
Okay.
I don't
Huh?
think it was. I don't think it was
like
a jazz. I don't think it was a jazz type. I think it was like a party-ish type of.
It's like they took a bad track from House Party and kept it. Like this one
Hold on,
wasn't
relax.
used. This one wasn't
relax,
used. You take
relax
it.
a little. Relax a little
Okay.
bit. But I feel like it was more of a party-ish type of instrumental that they had with just saying his name on the joint. I think if you was to play that at a party back in that day, people would.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
whatever. I got good times for this because it's a more catchy and soulful type of song.
Agreed.
So. All right. So
Summary.
Star Power, we have
I had Martin.
Martin.
Yeah, so I'll just give out my round. Star Power, I had Martin. Supporting cast, I had Martin, barely. Guest appearances, Martin. Sustainability, I gave to Good Times. And theme song, I gave to Good Times. So I have Martin winning 3-2.
Okay. I got Martin with Star Power, supporting cast, guest appearances, sustainability, not theme song. So I got a 4-1.
Martin with the sweep.
You got Martin with the sweep?
Martin dominates every criteria.
All right.
All right.
Well, there you have it. Martin versus Good Times. We'll be back for the next matchup. So we're not going any fucking where.
Doot, doot, doot.
See you soon.
Adios.